So the opposition may stand up and say, well, this is not a value debate or a value motion, it's a fact, or it's something else. What should we do? What to do? First of all, you just go back to your own, you hold your ground, you don't give in, right? Because it is your right, your privilege to establish the scope of your debate, the playfield, and an opposition, if it is a good opposition and a fair one, will have to go your way and show why, going your way, you are not right, and they are. The even if approach of fiat. Okay, be it like this, but even if, look why and how the proposition are not right. So this side of the motion has to fail. Right?
You have to, at the beginning of the debate, say which one is.
Well, actually, I wouldn't really be that theoretical as a, defining. So don't say this is a policy debate or this is a value. You don't do that. You don't do that. But you tackle it as one or the other by, looking at the key terms and by looking at the value and the value term or looking at the problem. So you make a choice anyway, right? And sometimes it's very hard to distinguish between value and fact. Like in the one who gets badly cheated. Yeah, that's a fact, but there's a lot of value in it, right? Okay, so don't get stressed about it. Just use your thinking, right? Be bold, right? Once you think you realize your thinking is right, believe in it, be bold, and defend it, right? All right? Okay. Because, that's what an opposition's job is, They don't, definitional debate is the worst case scenario, right? That's not a debate. Okay, good. So, let's see, the first one. The Earth is being visited by beings from other planets. Oh, I gave you the one that is so. Take this one.
I was kind of surprised.
You caught me cheating. Okay, but I may be wrong. A philosopher, you have heard of Karl Popper. He said, I may be right, and I may be wrong, and you may be right, but together we can get closer to the truth. I may be right, and you may be wrong, but together you may get closer to the truth. And that's the point. There is no one truth. Okay? Right. So the Earth is being visited by beings from other planets. That's evidently a classical fact debate, fact motion. Right? How about the second? President Barack Obama is an effective leader. Yeah, he is an effective leader. So is this a reality? And this is a descriptive fact motion. It helps. Definition, description, relationship, right? Okay, so is he or is he not? better than cats. That's definitely a valid one. People should not eat animals. You see how tricky that is? Well, let's see, if we look at this, if we examine people should not eat animals, what would you have to prove here? What would you have to do?
Why they don't have the right to eat animals?
They have the right to eat. I mean, they eat animals.
That's why they wouldn't have the right.
Okay, good. So let's see if there is a problem. People eating, yeah.
And they should prove why it's bad to eat animals.
Well, it is bad.
What is it causing?
So it is a combination of,
Value and policy.
right, okay. So you look at the value and say, well, eating meat is bad. You can say immoral, you can say, you know, you can go, follow the moral way, but that's very abstract and tricky, you know. Religion and stuff like that, it's better to avoid that track because you cannot impose your religious faith on anyone, so you cannot, that is not the way to go, right? Right, so look at the harm. The health, yes, exactly, the heart. People are more and more, are becoming more and more obese. There are more and more people that are obese. Obesity is more and more present, right? Okay, in the countries, in the societies where, you know, people eat meat. Right? What kind of meat? And so on. So it is bad for the health, right? That's one thing. Health, the health issue, or the health argument. What else would you do about it? So that would be one track. Violence to animals, right? They experience pain, cruelty to animals, right? So it verges on an animal rights motion, right? Animals feel suffering, right? But then the opposition may stand up and say, yeah, but you know, in the history of humankind, blah, 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 and, you know, we are humans and we are superior beings. And
or they will say that other animals eat another animal.
Yes, exactly. Look what they do. They eat their own babies, their own, you know, cubs and so on, you know. But it's a little infantile, but that's a way to go. All right? Yes. Expansion of NATO has promoted peace and stability in Europe. Fact, and more exactly, cause and effect, right? So we have the agent, the cause, expansion of NATO, right? And what is the value, the gain? Peace and stability. So we have a combined gain, peace and stability in Europe, right? Right. So we have a relationship between cause and effect. It's a fact, for example. See, this helps you. Because if you see the wording of this one, oh, that's a cause and effect motion, but that is at the same time a fact one. It's more exactly a relationship, cause and effect motion. But don't do that when you use the terms, don't be theoretical. It helps you, get a better grasp of what you have to do. It helps you identify what you have to do. And it gives you direction, right? And clarity. Don't use the words. I don't stand and say, well, this is a fact motion for exactly one of relationship or cause and effect and so on. Don't do that. It's time consuming and it just gets you nowhere. Right. The state should provide education only in its official language. Okay. What would you have to do here? What would you need to prove?
That there's a problem now.
Right, that the state provides education in other languages as well, right?
There is a significant need to change.
Yeah, very good. Inherency, right? So if you don't do anything about it, the situation is getting worse. The harm is being perpetuated and so on, and I don't know what victims you can come up with and so on. It's not an easy one. It's not an easy one.
Generation can be the
maybe in countries where English is, let's say, a first language, their own language, their native language, national language, or mother tongue is in danger of extinction, right? Because more and more are getting to speak English in order to be citizens of the world, blah, 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 the global village, things like that. Okay? You understand, right? This house would compromise civil liberties in the interest of security policy. So you also have the word would in a policy motion, right? Should, would. But not all should ones are policy. Okay. And that is, it looks at the future, right? Remember present, past, future? Okay? Right. And of course you also have the terms, civil liberties, the interest of, yeah, you have to look at the two. How would you do that? You will have to look at, by looking at the effects, very good, on the individual, on the society. You see, individual liberties, that is like, okay, and the other track is the common good, the social, the community good, and so on, right? Ideally, you should come up with something that satisfies both. So you have a satisfied individual in a satisfied community or society. Because, you know, an individual is part of a society or community.
Be a good attack.
A wonderful attack. Wonderful attack. A master one. All right. This country ought to have open borders. Policy too, ought to, should, okay. Why would you?
To value.
Okay. Why value? Can you
Yeah,
just?
well, it's a question of why would they do it, not how explicitly it would function.
So,
Why is the answer to the problem or to the something you're having?
so the situation, for example, would be, let's start from an assumption that the country doesn't have open borders. The borders are closed. What would be the effects?
That affects on economy, integration.
Okay, right.
Isolation.
And also liberties, individual liberties, freedom of choice, things like that, so you're not allowed. Okay, so you may take it, I mean, if you want to go follow the value, how would you go about the value?
Liberty and security.
Liberty and security, which is more important.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's all right. So you see, it's again not that easy because there is an overlap. So it's up to you to start from something. What is the reality? The borders are closed, and there's a former communist country. There's a Romanian in a former communist country. I know what that is. I've been there. I know what it is like. You are like an island. Right? Okay, so your grasp understanding of the world is very incomplete, fragmentary, and so on. So it's really, if you have no clue, if you get to never really explore other realities out there, you may die happy. I mean, there's no way you can know what's beyond the wall or the walls. And could you please, I would like you to really, you're welcome to have a say, okay? And I would really appreciate doing it openly because it's really important for all of us to share. So if you go the value way, what would you have to prove?
Probably
One outweighs the other. So
yeah, comparisons.
Comparative value.
Yeah, comparative analysis between the facts, the values.
The values.
Yeah. Sort of liberties and
Okay.
see where it falls.
Mm-hmm.
Against.
Okay, that would be like step one. Show that civil liberties are more important, right? What is it? Sorry. I would have to open. We were talking about this country would have to open borders, right?
Yeah.
So the borders are closed because I was looking at the one with civil liberties, but it's no longer that one. So the borders are closed.
Yeah.
That's the status quo. How would you follow it in a value debate with?
Well, probably firstly, I would engage into the concept of sort of free trade, free flow ideas that is a part of globalization, which is one of the terms that is most commonly used nowadays in politics. And then later on the question of what people want, and this is where I would use the facts, whether people, I don't know, Uganda wish to have free trade, or for example, this banal example, with the rest of the world. So I would support the values
Right.
with facts.
So-
That's something that you have in policy.
Sorry?
That's something that you already have if you have.
Yes, but I wouldn't question myself how I would implement it. I would just question if I have to implement it, and I would support
But you have
my
to show
pieces.
what would change.
Yeah.
How would they
There's
change?
a need for a change, a significant
And you
need for a
can't
change.
change it if you only have values.
And yeah, right. So actually, I would see it in a two-step way. It's like the need, right?
You have this.
The significant need and so on, and the values and so on, and then why would we prove that it's more important or it's better like that? I mean, it's just
Because
the
when you're
same.
explaining, you have to show an impact on the society.
Yeah, impact on the society, and then that would lead you to the conclusion that something needs to be done, right? Okay, yeah. So again,
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's
Yeah.
not easy. So as a proposition, you have to be practical as well, right? Can you tell me your name?
Dorian.
Dorian?
Yeah.
Okay. We also have this name in Romania. Only the pronunciation is like this, Dorin.
Ah.
Dorin. Okay. So actually, yeah. So you, as a proposition, you can be practical. Think about the task you set yourself to do. If it is too complicated, too complex, you get lost, and everybody gets lost. So you get nowhere. So try and practice in which way is a more palpable one to follow in order to get somewhere and be effective. And again, that's hard to do. The next one, pollution is currently causing global warming. That, and we have cause effect, right? Individual autonomy is more important than community value, right? Capital punishment is like murder,
Value.
comparative value, yes. U.S. war on Iraq has created a more dangerous world.
Actual.
Facts and cause and
Yeah.
cause and effect, yes. And safe value. A more dangerous world. Yeah, well, it's better to look at it as a cause and effect one, right? Because you have the cause, the war on Iraq, right? And the effect, a more dangerous world. So, I mean, the war on Iraq has affected the whole world.
But I think that we can understand it as a value if we are in comparison of the, I don't know what the U.S. promotes. Security or something like that, and they're
Like higher values and they do not. Okay.
But I mean, factually, that would be easier.
Yeah, right. Okay. And actually, I think that's the very intention behind setting such a motion. Think about, ask this question, why? Why are we debating this? And then the next, why is this important? Why are we debating this? What do we need to get out of it? Why is this important? Right? It's very. These are the two preliminary questions before embarking upon going this way or that way, and creating arguments. And all right. Capital punishment punishment is more humane. That was also in my lecture than life imprisonment, so definitely that. All right. The nations of the world should abolish capital punishment.
Values.
Okay, can you tell us why value? What's your name?
Martin.
Martin. Okay.
Because we have, on one side we have maybe the value of life, and on the second side we have like a few arguments. Why would killing of someone who committed a serious crime is a good, because
Is the solution.
is a solution for a few problems.
You will see in the handout structuring the case. Will you please go there, because I have there is an example offered. I think the example is for the motion capital punishment is like murder, or I'm not sure. Let's see. Only see the first one. Capital punishment should be reinstated. So you have something on capital punishment. And if you go on to the next page, you'll find the flow sheet, an example of a flow sheet, right? Are you there? It's involved. Structuring the proposition, the other handout. Okay? Not, you don't have it? Yeah. Is it structuring? Yes. Okay. So we are on this page which has flow sheets on it. Can you see it? Yes. Okay. So you have on the affirmative speech, capital punishment equals the definition. Death penalty imposed by state. The needs. Murder rate is climbing. Majority of Canadians, this is from a Canadian, resource, favor this, solution and would save money. Would save money, right? And if you go down the line, you see how they responded. So they agreed with the definition okay, and they responded to murder rate is climbing by saying murder rate higher in states with capital punishment, but you have to, illustrate this with statistics and, be very explicit in, mentioning the source, the year of the statistics and so on. It's not just like, I don't know how much percent this or that. So you really have to be, to contextualize and to relate your example with the argument. So you have to do the linking all the time. You don't just throw the example without making any linkage with the argument. Majority of Canadians favor it, clashes with Parliament has voted twice to abolish it. Twice, right? That says something about how they, feel about it. Would save money, what I told you earlier, what is the price of human life? Right? The plan, lethal injection for first-degree murder, right? And jurors acquit if capital punishment is an option, therefore more murderers go free. So, you see. Alright, in brief, there is a problem that exists, the present system is not able to solve it, the specific plan of the affirmative is outlined and it's the specific plan will reduce or solve the problem identified, the bare bones, right? Okay. The nations of capital punishment is more humane than life imprisonment. Yes. So we are at number 15. Yes. The nations of the world should replace capital punishment with life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. That is, they are like overlapping a little bit. Life imprisonment, humane, and so on. So actually, motion number 13, right, overlaps with 15, right? Replace capital punishment with life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. And the opposition may say, well, capital punishment in these conditions is more humane, right? So it's a better world for me to, it's better for me to quit or, leave this world, because that's not a life. If you are totally disconnected from your closest and dearest and from the world, and so what kind of life is that? What life quality are we talking about? Well, whether I deserve quality life or not, that's another issue, right? Okay. Capital punishment will deter crime, future, fact, okay. Iraq is a terrorist nation or a democratic nation, a fact, and you have to determine this. Find some measurements, agreed measurements, you know, ways to measure this and prove, you know, bring a kind of objective verification. And then if the objective statement matches the verification, then it's valid, then you're right. Okay? Violence on television causes violent behavior in children. Fact, cause, effect, right. Lee Harvey Oswald killed President John Kennedy. Yes, and it is a historical one, right? It refers to the past. And maybe you are familiar with the complexity of this murder. You know, there were so many, like four different presidents. Under 4 different presidents, you know, they tried to establish the truth of this murder. And there was this theory of a lone killer. I mean, he did it by himself because, you know, that was his wish. And then this theory was contradicted by later findings, according to which there were like 2 gunmen who fired at the president at the same time. But they determined that actually 2 out of the 3 bullets or shots in Kennedy belonged to this guy. Because a bullet went into the car, another one went into the back of his neck, of Kennedy's neck, and another one into his head. So the one who went into the car, no problem, but the other 2 did the harm. But they established that there was another guy who fired at the president at the same time. Very complex. Do you know anything about this guy, about his background?
About Kennedy?
No, Lee Oswald, Harvey Oswald. This guy defected. He was a Marine, a US Marine. He defected to the Soviet Union. Understand? And he lived in the US until 1962 June. And Kennedy was assassinated in 1963 November the 2nd. So in 1962 he went back to the US, right? And well, there is also this conspiracy theory that he was, you know, actually plotting with other guys and so on, you know, the Soviets and so on and so on. And that explains let's say, the motivation why he did what he did. But you know how he died? He was killed randomly when he was being moved from one prison to another. He was randomly killed, I mean he was hit randomly, by the owner of a club, nightclub, I don't know the name. He shot at this guy, at Oswald, and he died instantly. Well, I don't know why, so I didn't look into the, you know, the causality of the whole thing. But it's funny, so he was being transported from one prison to another, and he got killed by somebody nobody was thinking of. And there was a lot of mystery surrounding the assassination of JF Kennedy. So you see, debating such a motion requires a lot of research, a lot of understanding, but it is a nice challenge, right? You will not have such motions, as far as I know, not really. Historical motions are not really chosen for the WSDC or anything like that. Maybe at the university level, I'm not sure. But they are really an interesting experiment and experience. All right, and finally, the security of a society outweighs the personal freedoms of individuals. Value. Okay. Okay. that quote says, is a statement. Do you know who said that? Yes, exactly. And he also said, knowledge can get you from A to B. Can get you anywhere. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I just concocted these motions last night. So some of them are from the list I gave you. Others, you know, I just made them up on the spot. I try to. What I wanted to do, you know, in the time left, is to really start like a first affirmative case. I mean, define, and maybe one or two arguments. So you're all proposition, right? One or two arguments in favor of it. I would like you to write the topic in your notebooks, because later on, I'm not sure if you're going to be with me in the opposition exercises.
We're doing the opposition the same.
Well, if you are with me, are you with me? I'm not sure. I will refer to it and have you refute it, right? That's why I want you to write the motion in your notebook or on your laptop. And keep your ideas for the proposition, because later on, two arguments, ideally three, but if maybe there is not enough time for you to come up with three. So what you have to do is define, identify the key terms and define, right? And think up two or three arguments in favor of the statement. And after you write them down, I will recollect them, because I will also need stuff.
Are we writing this like for the whole world, or because in different states they have different laws for voting?
What do you
I
have?
have like we should lower voting age to 16, and in different states we have different limits. I can write.
Yeah, but you see, there is this is like the lowest, 16. What is the highest? It's lower, so it's not so much. I mean, yes, to 16. You may assume that the majority age, or the age when, you know, when they come of age, they are 18. So maybe you can start from the premise that, well, in the current situation, current system, right, you can vote if you are of age, if you are 18.
Yeah.
So you should lower to 16. Or in the US, if you are, but they can vote. You know, in the US, they are considered of age when they are 21. I mean, it's only then that they can drink or stuff like that. But, you know, it's lower to 16. That is what you need to look at. Lower the age. Okay, thank you. So now let's very, very briefly go through what you have written down. So, Beth, what's your motion?
Television reduces the quality of life.
Okay, guys, can we have one discussion? No. Hey. Pavel? Yes. Discussion.
Good.
Wood. And who's Pavel?
I'm Pavel.
I am Pavel. Okay. Okay. So, Beth, your motion is television reduces the quality of modern life. Okay.
So I find it as watching more than 1 hour television reduces the quality of people's life. And my key points are television reduces the quality of life by affecting a person's lifestyle choices, which in turn leads to bad health, including the growing levels of obesity. And watching excess television reduces the quality of life by narrowing the minds of children and young people, as well as future generations, by giving them access to violent and inappropriate behavior.
Narrowing the minds. Why not manipulating? It's a better word. Because the television doesn't narrow your mind. It's just broadening your mind. system programs you, right, to see reality the way they want you.
Senses are occupied.
Exactly. So it's like
So become a zombie.
yeah, it's like kind of falling into a trance. You cannot, it obliterates reality. You are like, okay, good. And how would you define reducing, so how would you go about the terms in emotion? TV reduces the quality of modern life. So the definition, so it's the very beginning of emotions, you have to look at the definition. Of course, you will never, define word by word, right? So this is a choice. You may choose to go strategically and define reducing the quality of modern life, or the quality of modern life, or definitely not modern life, right? So, how would you strategically define? It's an example.
Maybe reduces in a way that, as I said already, they become a zombie someday, lose their life knowledge from the world. Something this way.
So they become
Depends on the
independent.
arguments.
Okay.
You have to, I think you have to define quality of life in, I don't know,
Quality of
3
life.
or 4 things,
Very
and
good.
then show how one of the
So how do we
things
know that we enjoy life quality or quality life, lifestyle? Mentally, physically,
we have the right to
economically.
express our,
Mhm.
we have to express our ideas and how to life.
Right. So that means mentally, physically sane, right? Financially sane. Because if you are starving, well, yeah, okay, and so on. So that's important, you see? Okay, right. What is your motion? How do you pronounce your name, Alexander?
Alexander.
Alexander? In Czech.
In Czech it's Sasha.
Sasha is a diminutive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your full name, how do you pronounce it?
Alexander.
Alexander. Okay. All right. Okay, so you have, your motion is?
Emotion is imagination is more important than knowledge.
Okay, guys. Hey, we have a very nice one, a quote. He was a little disappointed. Imagination is more important than knowledge.
So my value or my definition of more important and decided it to be in a way to be happy and successful in life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I would put both of them or just happiness or success.
Happiness is so relative. Fulfillment.
Happiness of the individual.
Yeah, the happiness, yes, or life fulfillment, life accomplishment, yes. And then if you say the happiness of the individual, then you have to somehow translate this into something which is like maybe self-fulfillment, self-accomplishment, something like that, yes, all right? So, then what arguments?
Well, starting with the quotes, which I would not repeat because it was just awkward. The first argument, when you imagine, you make new things, and that is the exact way to produce and to contribute to society. One smart man, I don't know who it was, once said that there are just 2 ways to be successful in life. You either think of something new that no one could came up before, or you are better than the others. Knowledge is very important, but this imagination of other people, it is nothing new. The other argument is even if you don't have enough knowledge, you can be happy and successful just by having a good imagination, because it is part of everybody, it is something you already have, and you don't have to work so much on the knowledge, therefore it is much easier to get successful and get self-fulfillment.
And actually think about this. Whatever is around us in nowadays society, I'm not talking about religion now, about everything, was once in somebody's mind. Was once in somebody's mind. And this, what happened was the result of the so-called creative imagination. Because you can wishful thinking. I feel like blah blah blah, and then you do nothing. So you don't creative imagination, that's in fact what you need to go for, not just blank imagination, right? Which makes you feel good and comfortable in your own shoes, but actually it doesn't make you progress as a human being. It's not the outcome. Okay, good. Thank you. The next one, right? And your name is Nia?
Yes. I have the motion, this house believes that we should lower the voting age to 16. At the beginning, I would like to explain that the voting age is the age when you can vote to elect somebody who will represent your interests. So I think we are living in a democracy system, and I would like to explain that democracy has two things that are important for itself. And these two things should always be improved, and that's political participation of all citizens and legitimate representation. So I think that that can be accomplished only when you have the voting age lowered to 16. Why? Because then the youth will care more about politics, so they will participate more in their future life when they get older. And
So they will be incentivized.
yeah, that's important for them because when they're 18, lots of people aren't going to school anymore, and they're not in the influence of it's okay to vote, it's good for you to vote, not who you should vote for. Then it's important for you to vote to have somebody that will represent your interests. The second argument is specific for some countries. I don't know how.
We need to finish. Okay. All right.
I don't know how paying taxes function in other countries, but in Croatia, when you're 16, you can pay taxes when you're working. So I thought of the saying from the America, no taxation without representation. I want someone to represent my interests if I have to give money to my country. And the third one is legitimacy of the representatives would increase. And
Thank you. All right, so when we meet later on, you will tell me your arguments, right? So we'll just take it from here, and then you have to, refute your own arguments, right? That's the next challenge. Thank you for being so active and participating and